Hi everybody, I have a book review today. It's called A Northern Light, and this book is by Jennifer Donnelly. And if you have seen any of my book reviews before, you'll know that Jennifer Donnelly has written the Tea Rose. She's also written The Winter Rose, which I haven't been able to get my hands on, unfortunately, yet. But The Winter Rose was a phenomenal book. So I decided to look into this book, A Northern Light. I believe this is one of her books for more like young adult readers, and it's award. It got the Michael Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature. So it's a book that's got an honor for young adults. I'll be honest with you, it's definitely a more academic type book. Even when you start reading it and look at the chapters, each chapter begins with a word, and that tells you about the word in the chapter somewhere. The thing about this book that frustrated me was how it jumped from present day to not, and back and forth multiple times. It started off with the character being at home, and then all of a sudden she's working in at the inn, and then she's back at home again, and I'm like, where are we? Where has this started? Because it starts with the death of a young woman up in the northern woods, and then it goes back and like restarts again. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I was not enjoying having to try to follow all of that as well as the story. This book is about a young girl named Mattie Gokey, and I am going to read you what it says on the flap of the book. It says, Mattie Gokey has a word for everything. She collects words, stores them up as a way of fending off the hard truths of her life, the truths that she can't write down in stories. The fresh pain of her mother's death, the burden of raising her sisters while her father struggles over his broke-back farm, the mad welter of feelings she has for handsome but dull Royal Loomis, who says he wants to marry her, and the secret dream that keeps her going, finishing high school, attending college in New York City, becoming a writer. Yet when the drowned body of a young woman turns up at the hotel where Mattie works, all her words prove useless. In the dead woman's desperate love letters, Mattie again finds her voice, and strength and determination to live her own life. Set in 1906 against the backdrop of the murder that inspired Theodore Dreiser's An American Tragedy, this coming-of-age novel effortlessly weaves romance, history, and a murder mystery into something moving and real and wholly original. I'd have to disagree with that a little bit. I don't believe that it effortlessly weaves the romance, the history, and the murder together. I think that actually it could have flown? It could flow a bit better. Let's see. So the character is a young girl who has to take some exams, and she wants to go to college. She can't afford to go to college. She can't afford to even get to college. Her dreams get dashed away of her uncle helping her, of her aunt helping her, and then she tries working for the money. But then she's got sisters and family members who need her, and the farm needs her, and she still wants to go. And then she meets a woman who's her teacher, who really tells her that she has a gift and needs to go, and kind of shows her what it's like to be an independent woman versus being a woman who would have a husband and a family, and all of her time would be taken up by that. She goes through the process of like, well, how come these women writers can't have a family and write too? And it just kind of goes through that process as well. There is a sort of backstory about a young woman who ends up dead, and Mattie is given the letters from this woman before she dies. Then she sort of figures out that the woman was murdered, and somehow in figuring this out, she up and decides to do something at the end that I'm not going to tell you because it would ruin the book for you. But all of a sudden the book like ends abruptly, and you're like, alright, you decided this overnight. I would say that this book was recommended to me by one of my viewers, and unfortunately I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to any of my friends. As a fun read, or as like a book that you just want to, enjoy. It was not enjoyable, let's say. It did win an award, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean its entertainment value wasn't very high for me, unfortunately. It was based off a true story. Some of the parts are based off true story. And it's for young adults a little bit, blah, blah, blah. It was okay. It did take me a lot longer to read it than I had wanted. But that is my thoughts of this book. I hope that was helpful to some of you, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. See ya.